Doors of the human soul. In the shadowed corridors of the human soul, where masks of camaraderie conceal the restless hunger for dominion, many wander into the embrace of fake friends. Those spectral allies who mirror your light only until it refuses to bend to their will. They draw near with honeyed words and borrowed loyalty, feigning kinship in the garden of your generosity. Yet the moment the path diverges, the instant your truth stands unyielding against their scripted narrative, the veil rends. Control slips from their grasp like sand through clenched fists, and in that void of lost power, they crown you the villain. Not from righteous discernment, but from the frantic architecture of their fractured psyche. Psychologically, this is the machinery of projection at its most insidious depth, rooted in the unintegrated shadow self, that repository of disowned traits Carl Jung illuminated as the hidden architecture of the personality. These souls harbor unspoken insecurities, buried resentments, and impulses they dare not name. The envy that festers when your popularity in community and workplace shines, unbidden. The fear of abandonment that masquerades as superiority. The inner chaos of inadequacy they cannot confront. Unable to gaze into the mirror of their own soul, where judgment would demand ruthless self-accountability, they externalize it wholesale onto you. Your calm refusal to dance in their reactive theater becomes proof of your coldness, your boundary, a declaration of enmity. They utter the ancient barbs, "You'll never have friends," or "This is why no one likes you," even as evidence of your genuine connections surrounds you like a living testament. These are not observations. They are confessions in disguise, the ego's desperate deflection to preserve its fragile throne. Deeper still lies the spiritual undercurrent. In realms where light and darkness contend, not as metaphor but as primordial forces, these accusations of blasphemy, of Satan worship, of inherent evil, echo with revelatory irony. Scripture and spiritual tradition alike speak of principalities and powers that thrive in hidden strongholds, Ephesians 6:12. When your steadfast truth, your unmanipulated light, pierces the veil, it agitates the entities that have found harbor in unresolved wounds, unrepented darkness, or open doors of bitterness within them. Light does not merely illuminate, it irritates and exposes what prefers the comfort of shadow. Their demons, whether personal strongholds of the flesh or influences that whisper control, tremble at authenticity because it threatens their dominion. The very labels they hurl, evil, blasphemous, betray a subliminal admission. They sense the darkness pooling in their own depths and, in terror or denial, fling it outward as accusation. Projection here transcends psychology. It becomes a spiritual sleight of hand, where the accuser unwittingly names their own inner adversary while seeking to bind you with it. You, who extended generosity, clothing the nakedness of their need, battling alongside their unseen torments, absorbing venom in hopes of alchemical healing, become the unwelcome mirror. No deed suffices, no truth aligns with their script. In their narrative, you are forever the antagonist, for to absolve you would require dismantling the ego's fortress of pride and victimhood. This is no mere interpersonal rift, but a battle for the soul's allegiance. The entities that thrive on division and dependency recognize your light as a solvent to their chains. They stir betrayal not because the friend is irredeemably false in essence, but because unseen forces exploit vulnerabilities to maintain control, pushing the vessel away from the very influence that could liberate them. Yet hear this immutable truth, etched in the crucible of both psyche and spirit: their ego must shatter for rebirth to dawn. The pride that props up this villainization is a hollow idol, a crumbling tower built on unexamined shadow and unclaimed responsibility. It whispers supremacy while starving the soul of genuine union. To the one ensnared in this pattern, look now into the mirror you have avoided. The darkness you project is not my garment, it is the unintegrated fragment of your own. The control you crave is the fear you deny. The evil you name is the invitation you have left open. Release it. Withdraw the projection. Enter the refining fire of self-confrontation, where Jung's individuation meets the ancient call to judge, not lest you be judged, and where spiritual armor guards against the true adversary beyond flesh and blood. In this dissolution, ego dies, not as punishment but as gateway. Pride yields to humility, the false self to the authentic. What emerges is divine unison, a soul no longer puppet to shadow or external whispers, but aligned with uncreated light. The friendship that fractures under truth was never the prize. The rebirth forged in its wake is: walk away unburdened, for your light was never meant to dim for another's comfort. And to the one hearing this as rebuke and revelation, awaken. The mirror awaits. Step through it and rise whole.